Hello. Hello. Sit tight if you can hear me. I won't be long. I just want to make sure that everything is working. G'day, Olivia. How are you? Whereabouts are you from? Make sure you say g'day if you're here. Okay. Just getting everything prepared, just waiting for people to turn up. Bees. Alright. Go for that. Alright. Okay, so the sound will be a bit funny for the moment, but it'll be right in a second. Oh, my kids are freaking out. They're just yelling crap out at the top of their lungs. That's good. It's a good sign. All right. Hello. Hello. There you go. Just waiting for people to turn up, but if you're there, say g'day. Olivia's there. I'm not sure if you heard me before, Olivia. Whereabouts are you from? Can you let me know? Okay. And of course, let me know if you are there. If you turn up at any time, let me know so I know you're watching. It's a lovely day. It was a lovely day of painting. I had a group lesson this morning and an individual lesson this afternoon, and I've got this now. So it's been a fun one. It's been good. It's one of those days where everything went right. So fingers crossed that trend continues for this next hour or so. We'll be right. Ah, you're in Lake Macquarie. Have we met before? Have you done a workshop or something? Remind me if you have. Oh, awesome. Ah, right, cool, good stuff. ALM, there you go. Okay. What I'll do, just in I know it's a live thing and people will join as it goes through. I might start just having a look at the picture. We're gonna paint and muck around with. Ah, yeah, cool. There you go. All right. Awesome. Let's have a squiz. So we're going to focus on some textures and some sort of gritty, loose, moody. Definitely not pretty. We don't want pretty. I think pretty is the wrong way to think about this one tonight. The audio will get better when I move over and paint because I'll be closer to the microphone, by the way. And all will be well in the end. So, yeah, so looking at some textures, I've done the drawing up as much as I sort of wanted to at that time. It's a bit more, believe it or not, it's a bit more of a detailed drawing than I usually do, and it's pretty much just of the main star of the show, the cathedral. Some pools. But yeah, I just wanted to show how good you can make something look by just experimenting with different, found objects. Glad wrap, tissues, your fingertips, your hands, your fingernails, scraping, all kinds of things. You can just make different marks and really a really good a really good thing to be across. Good techniques to be across, because if you need that in your work, then you've got it in your arsenal. You can pick it up quite well and add it to your paintings so that they look interesting and better than just sitting around. Better than just being boring. Everything being the same, pretty coloured in texture. No, we want some interest. That's what we're all about. And hello again. Who was there? Who was there? If you are there, make sure you say hey. It's just rude if you don't. Hopefully the lag is not too bad and that my voice is fairly in sync for all you Justin Timberlake fans out there. But realistically, it won't matter too much once I'm painting. It's just why you're looking at my big ugly head right now. So all is good there. So let's have a quick squiz at this again. So yeah, you can see that Julia, whereabouts are you from? So you can see that we've got a nice, strong, dark tone in the foreground, and general mid-tones around the middle of the picture, and really nice and light and textural as it goes up. It should be a real fun one. I've never painted this scene before. I've painted different versions of St. Paul's, like the aerial versions, but not in this way. So it should be interesting for all of us. So full disclosure, I've not painted it before. Julia, have you watched one of my things before, Julia? I remember you, I think. I think so. Or I might be wrong. But it's quite cold down here in Tassie at the moment. I feel like I might be in Russia, in Siberia or something, up that way. I know it's a different place. The other side of the earth. That's right. Let's have a look. We are currently at 4 degrees. Feels like 2, so it's coldish. G'day, David. How you going, mate? How you going? Glad you didn't turn up at 8:30 your time. Excellent. G'day, Kim. How are ya? Hopefully everyone is doing well. And I'll just say a quick hello. As usual, these demonstrations and live mini workshops, if you like, if you get things out of them and you're cool and you want to shit, please feel free. Leave a donation. No problem if you don't. Totally cool. It's just the options there if you would like it. And yeah, that's all. I'll have the details up. You can pay via PayPal or bank transfers. Just think of it as my little virtual tip jar. But once again, just like a busker, you can watch and listen. You don't have to tip. You don't have to tip anything. It's not a problem. But it's mentioned and that's done, and we can move on. All right, let's have a look. So this is a little drawing I've done up. It's obviously very rough. It's not a brilliant drawing by any stretch of the imagination, but it's all we really need. It's all we need for this demonstration. So I'm going to just head over to the paper now and have a look, and we'll see how we're going to approach it. So I think I might do it fairly similar in tone. I really like that sepia kind of oldie worldy sort of look that the reference has, and I'll just try and keep to that a little bit. But obviously it'll look different because I'm not putting anywhere near the detail in that's there. I'm not doing life's too short to do a cityscape of London. Jeez, it's crazy. But yeah, let's get cracking. I'll just move across in the good old chair that's noisy as anything. Sorry about the noise. As I was saying before, the audio should get better as I get closer. So is the audio okay? You can hear me and everything is all good? Okay. Now, what we've got here is a challenge, absolutely a challenge. Okay, there's a few ways we can deal with this. I'm going to start just by putting a really light warm wash over everything, and we'll go from there. We'll just feel our way through it. I'm still working, light to dark. This is just going to be a nice little demo. Let's just get some water on the page. Why not? If you've got any questions or anything throughout, you can write them down or type them in the comments, and I'll see them and I'll try and answer them. If you're watching this on an iPad or something, and you can't see where to type questions, I'm pretty sure there's somewhere in the iPad app that you have to go through and turn something on, and that allows you to comment and read the comments. So yeah, just check it out. I don't think it's very obvious on the app. From what I've heard, I've never actually looked at it properly myself. So I'm just putting a warm wash down, keeping my brush strokes fairly horizontal, just so it's got that general feel to it. I don't care if it's if one goes astray, it's not a problem. But I just want to keep these washes pretty nice. And you see I've got the big calligraphy brush. This is on the Baohong medium or cold pressed paper, this one. And it's brilliant. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. More than anything else I've ever painted on, it's the bee's knees. The dog's bollocks or the cat's pajamas, all of those things. It's unreal. So Julia, if you don't understand some of my slang, things that I say, please ask. I'll translate if I can. But yeah, all good. So heading over to some different colorings. Well, not really different colorings. I just want to add a few little areas of tone. Just approximately where some of the stronger stuff is up here. Not much. Just so there's lots of water around still in this wash, so I want it to be quite free and easy, quite loosey-goosey, all of those things that we want in a nice painting. Horizontals and verticals. That's what we're looking for. So all I'm doing here is sort of preparing the paper for the next steps. I'm just sort of adding little areas of interest that may or may not be there later on, but they're just things to have just in case. Something might shine through, something may not, doesn't matter. They're just little areas of interest while it's all wet. It can melt irreparable damage at this point, which is all good. It's always good. That's fine. It's quite strong over this side, isn't it? So, okay, I like that light on this building here, that light there. So I wouldn't mind taking care of that if I can. That's all fine. Okay. So come down here and just start putting in a couple of darker strokes down here, because obviously this will be quite strong when it comes time. This will be almost black down here. We could just get a couple of marks in. That's fine, fine, fine. All right. Cool. Now, let's do a few splatters. Thinking texture, thinking all texture. And at this stage, it's good to get some in there. Nice splatter. Try not to do too much with the sort of sky area. I like that real definite up here, this definite sort of light. I like that. Don't want to mess around with that too much. Just dribbling water everywhere. It's good. Now, a tissue. We always see that we use tissues like, you know, lifting bits out. Just try something like this. Just lay it down. Lay it down. Lay it down. It won't have too much impact yet because the colours aren't too dark. This is a layering process that I'm thinking of here. Yeah. And it does some stuff. Okay? Don't throw those tissues away. They're fine. Okay, I'm going to dry this off so we can start with layer number 2. Probably be about 4 layers, I reckon, by the time we get it sorted, but should be right. I'm going to mute the microphone so you can't hear this horrible hairdryer, which I've now nicknamed Meatloaf. Listen to this. See? Sounds just like Meatloaf. Alright, that's enough out of you, Meatloaf. Alright. Hey, Cheryl, how you going? Hey, hope you're well. Okay. So, got a bit of texture there. It's layering up. We're just working out where we're heading with it. Some nice layers. We'll get some medium sort of strength stuff going in there now, I reckon. And yeah, should be okay. Now, get yourself some brushes like this. This is literally out of a hardware shop. I think they sell them for like, there's different sizes, but they sell them for glue, like plumbers and things use with their glue. They're throwaway brushes. It's like a bag of 20 is like $12 or something. But because it's such, I don't know what hair it is, they're really good for getting uneven and unpredictable marks. So let's go in. We're playing with burnt sienna pretty much at the moment, or in my Schminky palette it's maroon brown, the one that I use. Sounds like a singer from the 70s. Hi, I'm maroon brown. Oh no. Where's the studio at? So there's no marks going in here that I'm concerned with. It's just literally getting a few smaller, less less obvious strokes. That's all. I'm not trying to paint buildings or anything like that. Oh, jeez. Bloody hell. Yeah, it's quite chilly out there tonight. I took the dog for a walk earlier. I was like, oh, yeah, it's feeling it now. Get a few little dry brush kind of marks. This is all another textural element. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much going on, but there's quite a few little areas that are filling in, but they're just subtle. It's just little marks, and it'll add to the overall effect of that mistiness and obviously the texture. So persevere with it. It might not feel like you're doing much, but trust me, you'll be right. Water, a bit more water. Just adding texture. That's all we're doing. All we're doing is the whole process is going to be adding texture. Whole painting pretty much. Until we start to add in the real darks, which what I'm going to do now, just going into make a dark up with a bit of ultramarine and a bit of burnt sienna or maroon brown. Alright. Just sort of down in these areas, get a bit of that in there. It's all still fairly watery at the moment. I'm not going to do too much down here because it'll be quite dark down here later on. So doing much now is kind of almost pointless, really. Just putting a few little marks that, this is going to be coloured in a minute. It's all fine. Shouldn't say coloured in, should I? It's not good. You don't want to colour in when we paint. Bit of burnt sienna, a bit of neutral tint to strengthen it. So I was saying, I just wanted to get that side of this building in here. I like that, so we'll make sure that goes in nicely. And you can just kind of make things up. Use your artistic license. That's what it's for. What do we got over here? Just want to brown that up a bit. Lots of water still. It's looking nice. Just looking at all these dark areas. I want to get some of it in there while it's all wet so that it just blends rather than, looks too harsh. Orange, don't forget to vary your colours. even though we're doing a predominantly warm painting, it's still going to have cool colours in it. And it's going to have stronger parts in it than others. And, you know, we need to be aware of all that so that it doesn't end up being just a stultifyingly boring picture at the end. This dry brush texture is really nice. Kind of painting buildings without having to paint buildings. It's always good. Purple will go in here somewhere. Purple's always a nice foil for most colours. It neutralises it really nicely. Okay. There'll be a lot of that down there anyway. It's good. Purple, 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 purple. So who else is here? I know there's only a couple of you that have said hello so far. Please say hello. All right. Not too much going on up there. All these cranes and things. Yeah, just brush that's in need of a dip of water. Just use those. You don't have to completely dry out your brush. To wet your brush and keep going with it. You just vary it. You've got some texture going on here. That's nice. Okay. Just getting a few little bits there. That's good. Again, bit of a splash, and I'm going to do the tissue trick again over some of these damp sections. Rusty stuff's great. I remember one of the first paintings I ever did that I was happy with was when I was a kid, and it was a rusty, like a gate handle or something like that. It had a padlock and stuff on it. I loved it. I wish I still had it. I don't know what ended up becoming of it. Cool. Okay, so it's getting there. It doesn't look like anything yet, obviously, but we'll be right. We'll be right. So just digging up a bit of my drawing there for a second. Now I'll dry it off, and I'll just do the usual mute the meatloaf. Here we go. Okay, so what we got here, I need to start just blocking in some of the more definite buildings over this side. So I've got a flat brush. It's just a cheap one again from Officeworks or whatever. It's just synthetic, so it's really springy. Doesn't hold much water, which is good in this instance. It's a good thing. Now, just get rid of some of that. Let's have a look. It's a building there. Yeah, that's the sort of thing we want. Just want to make sure they're straightish, if we can. See, by having a brush that doesn't hold heaps of water, with scenes like this, you do lots of dry brush, and it's a nice way to add the illusion of detail without there being much of it. Okay, there's a bit of something there. Just make sure your buildings are, they don't have to be straight. They've got to be vertical though. Because if you start doing Leaning Tower of Pisa stuff, it quickly ruins the effect of the cityscape we're going for. It'll stand out like a dog's balls. Okay, not too much. All right, that's cool. That is good. Just reiterating those cranes and things. It's fine. All right, I'm just going to leave that area up here for a second. I'm digging how it's looking. So should be fine. Going to start work on the on St. Paul's. All right, here we go. Let's go into here. Still just mixing up those warm colours, but I'm just graying it down a little bit with a little bit of ultramarine. Start. Gonna have to be quite strong to stand out for us. So struggling to see my drawing a bit there, but that's okay. Should be all right. That should be about it. I'll just change brushes for a second. I'm going into a bit of neutral tint. It's quite thick paint. A little bit thicker. There we go. Just make sure there's not heaps of it on the brush. Yeah. What's that? We got that, and we got the cross. Just try and get the cross in the middle. Otherwise it looks funny. Okay. Let's just whack that in there. That's a bit off. That's okay. Talking to myself a bit here. Okay, good, good. Happy, happy. Just getting that back in there. Now, just gotta. No, that's alright. That's cool. I think I always whisper to myself when I'm painting, and I think by whispering, I'm concentrating more or something. Hello, Ernesto. How are you, mate? Good to see you here. Thank you for joining. Okay, we'll see how that ends up. Just before this dries, just getting this to be right. Okay, that's good. Yeah, just bringing that out a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. And as that dries off a little bit, I'll get some thicker paint in there too to start defining a bit of that edge. Should have done that. Okay. All right. Good. Don't make too much of those little veins in the dome. The more you do, the worse it'll look. So now it looks like an igloo. See? See? Take my own advice. Be alright. Gotta do something, but yeah. You just don't want much. Yeah. So yeah, told you I've never painted this before. Alright, let's have a look. Let's go with, let's get that in there. Another couple of lines. Look at that. What a steady hand I have this evening. That's weird. It's because I haven't had anything to drink, you see. It's amazing what happens there, and you don't drink and you do stuff better. Crazy, huh? Under that, that's going to go. So it all looks a bit severe at the moment, but what I'll do, not too bad, not too bad. That's cool. There we go. And again. get some of these columns in. This one here, these couple at the front are fairly important to get pretty accurate, just so it sets the stage, and then as they go further around and get smaller, they can get looser. That's a bit wonky. It's okay. Yeah, all we're doing is kind of getting the rough gist of everything in there, and there'll be a little shadow on these columns, a little round shadow if you can get in there. We're going to mess with it in a second so we don't lose sight of what we're after. So at this point, this is going to come around there a bit more. It's a bit further over. That's fine. Cool. And okay, there you go. I bet you can kind of probably hear my brain ticking over from where you are. Brain's just going, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What do you do that for? What are you even thinking of doing that for?" So, got to get that going a bit nicer. Happy over here. So all this is going to be a bit, just abstracty stuff over here. So as long as we make a couple of these things quite nice and strong, the rest of it will be okay. And I think I'd be silly to do too much more. That's probably even better there. Scrape, good old fingernail scrape. Never hurt anyone. All right. Wobbly line. That's okay. A little wobbly. So I get some light, especially a bit of water. A bit of light over this side. It's fine. In fact, that's cool. I don't mind that at all. Right, all this stuff down here starts to get dark and gloomy. Once again, it's all going to be quite dark at the end, so I'm not too concerned about details or anything. So we got a Couple of things going right. More paint, I'm running out of paint. Here we go. More stuff. Look at all this. So here's where all the dark stuff comes in. It's all just pretty watery there at the moment. While I've got that watery bit going, I might just add this little secondary tower that's attached to this building, but it's right back there, so that's fine. Lavender in there. All right, that's good. Yeah, I'm actually gonna get that light, something, bit of light there. Just got to have a look for a second. Tilt it up. Yep, pretty happy with that. I'm going to dry it off and then starting with the proper darks that'll really bring it to life. Once the proper darks are done, I'll then put in a little bit of extra detail on the dome. I think it should be right. Once these darks go in, it'll really make a difference. But here we go. I'll just mute Meatloaf. See, this is what Meatloaf sounds like. I would do it. See, it's bad. It's terrible. Shit. Anyway, here we go. Hey Luke, thanks mate. It's a weird one. I've not done this scene before. The darks are going to go in now, so we should be rocking. Okay, let us get some good old neutral tint. Neutral tint, bit of purple, bit of maroon brown. That's my brilliant blue violet there. Maroon brown, lots of ultra. We need lots of paint, lots of paint. It's the thing. Your art materials, they're not precious artifacts. They're not Ming Dynasty vases. They are tools to get us to where we want to go. So don't be stingy with them. You don't see. Here you go. You don't think twice. Although you don't like it, you don't think twice about putting petrol in your car, do you? And when it runs out, you don't think about it again. You just do it. Because what happens is your car gets you to your destination. So your petrol is just part of that deal. And same with the art materials. You use them. Don't be shy. Sometimes you need lots of paint. And it's just the way it is. Especially with darks, nice juicy darks, we need lots of paint. And you don't get these big juicy darks when you're being stingy with it. It just doesn't work. Yeah. A few quick brush strokes, just like that, will get get the interest happening. So you can see that I'm using my Neef Squirrel Mix brushes for this. This is the size 20. Love it. Use this for a lot of washes these days in big areas. They hold lots and they're just amazing brushes. Really good. Nice and pointy too. So if you need to get to a nice point in your brushwork, they're really good. Yeah, bring that across a bit. All right, we're getting to the dark side now. I like that. That's good. Yeah, just need to cut that in a bit. See, same brush, just cutting that in. Check out on my channel if you want to see a review of these brushes. There's a review on there. Same with my Schminky paints. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Alright, don't go up there too far. The lights give me a bit of grief, like the actual overhead light. It's giving me a bit of grief. So it's a bit of sheen coming back from the work, so I've just got to step back and look at it a little bit. That's alright. Okay, that under there needs to be dark. Yeah, that's it. That's better. Over here. You just kind of lose those edges a little bit. Should be right. Where's my palette knife? Where's my palette knife? Here it is. Go. Textures, people. Textures. If you can. Credit cards, palette knives, scrapers, skewers, whatever you want to scrape with, give it a crack. Scrape back into thick paint on decent paper and you'll end up with some cool marks that don't look like anything else on you that you can do with a brush. These Neef brushes, by the way, just go to seniorart.com.au, order them online, they'll ship to you anywhere, and seriously I'd recommend giving them a crack. Getting there, I'm going to soften a little bit. Splash a bit of water, get it mingling around a bit. Good. Now, I'm thinking here, because it's all wet, I want to do this, you can only really do it while it's wet and while there's a bit of actual water around as well on a dark area. Like I did over here with these shadows, these little bits of light, just want to do something similar over here. Just to break it up a little bit. And that looks pretty gnarly there. I just want to get rid of the hard edges there, that's all. That's better. That's a better. Good stuff. All right. Cool. All right, gonna dry it off again. Meatloaf's coming out. Here we go. Well, here he is. All right. Okie doke. Now, I've got to start thinking of a few little dark patches and a few little dark, thicker paint details as well. Because it's all looking okay, but because we just need that extra layer of dark paint now, so we're almost there. Just for the details, like it's we're not really painting big areas with this thick paint. It's more for just a little bit, so you want it to be quite thick and not much on your brush. So I'm just going to reiterate a couple of these little marks up here. Just a few little things. Looks a bit on the nose, that's all right. Just dry brushing it all. Just use brush with not much water attached to it. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Cool. Good. All right. It's coming together. It's coming together. It's coming together. Good stuff. Yeah, but I'll just say that 20 more times, eh? Okay. All good there. It's all going all right. Okay. So we need a few more little cranes and church steeples and just a few more little bits of detail. It doesn't have to be everywhere. It's just here and there, just to draw our eye away. So the eye runs around the picture instead of just stops. You don't want it to. You don't want the viewer to get bored when they look at it. Every 10 seconds, you want them to be moving their eye around, staying put. And you do that by your own judgment. If you were to, as you're painting, we're a bit. It's a bit hard when we're doing it talking about our own stuff, obviously, but we have to be our own critic as we go through the process, and got to think: would I like to stop and look at this in a gallery if it was hanging on a wall in someone's house, whatever? Would it stop you in your tracks? And the answer is always, well, hopefully the answer is mostly yes. And that's a good thing. Okay. That's a bit of water I've gone through and just painted a couple of those rib shapes in from the dome. That'll be enough for sure. All right. Getting there. I think I just want to do a few kind of subtle splatters with a colour, maybe lavender or something. I like that. I like that lavender. Colour. Schminky don't make lavender. This is Holbein. Daniel Smith do a really nice one as well, which I need to get some of. And this is my last bit of lavender. It's dreadful. It's no good. It's not very fun. So collecting art supplies, as I always say, collecting art supplies is a whole separate obsession / hobby to painting. And you can never have enough. I'm just doing little splashes of stuff here to break it up a little bit. And I think all I need to do is put a few little white highlights and we should be good. Should be good, mate. Let's have a look. Right. Okay. Little bits. Just be careful when you're doing this because you don't want to do too much of it. And you certainly don't want to paint objects with these highlight kind of colours. You want them to be just that, just highlights. Yeah, absolutely, sure, absolutely. Okay. And the last thing you want to do. Oh, really? Yep, 7 o'clock. There you go. Welcome. Good morning. I want to put a couple of little bits of red just because I like it and adds a bit of interest without being too crazy. Ooh, no, I don't like that. I don't like that bit. No problemo. Just going to dry it off and I will take the tape off and I reckon we're good. Might be set. Yep, take the tape off. When you're doing paintings like this, you really don't want to go overboard with it. Yeah, definitely about the darks, definitely. And you know, that oldie worldy kind of feel that I was after. I like that. But yeah, you just don't want to go overboard. You don't want to do too much because it'll just turn to mud really quickly. So you don't want that if you can avoid it. Okay. Just moving the microphone as close because I'm moving further away from it. So yeah, it's worked out quite nice. It's a bit. I think what I might do tomorrow, once everything's had a big time to dry, because it looks a bit cartoonish at the moment, but once it's had a really good dry overnight, I might put a bit of a milky wash of white over it, or even just wash a little bit of it out with water, clean water, and lift it off and see how it turns out. So I just want to get rid of a little bit of that cartoony look to it. But yeah, it's quite nice and it's good fun. And yeah, it looks a bit strange on the screen, but no, it should be good. All good. Thank you very, very much for watching, everybody. I hope you guys. Do you have any questions before I go? Before we wrap up the stream. Yeah, like I say, no worries, Luke. Good stuff. Too easy, mate. Too easy. Yeah, like I just sort of put up there. It's all perfectly cool if you don't or you don't want to, but you can, if you like, make a donation to the slush fund, the pirate ship. Keep it all afloat. PayPal and bank details there. Also, there are options. The links are in the description of the video below once it comes up. But no, thank you very much. I appreciate everything you guys do for me by supporting me. You guys are unreal. Love yous. But no, thank you very much. I'll see you guys soon and take care of yourselves and watch this space. Okay, if you're not, actually, before you go, if you're not a member of my Facebook group, the Tony White Watercolour community, go in there and join up, and I will show you the finished product tomorrow once I decide what I'm going to do with it. Once I've messed with it one last time, I'll take a before and after photo so you can see the difference. No worries, Olivia. Too easy. Thank you. Thanks for joining me. But no, I really appreciate you guys' support. And if there's anything you want to see in particular on this channel, let me know. But failing that, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you very much again, and catch us later. Oh, by the way, if you want to watch a good TV show, if you're in Australia and you've got Foxtel, watch Mr. In Between. Mr. In Between. Australian TV shows can be really bad sometimes. They can be really unnatural, really forced, real kitsch, real pantomime-y, you know. So Mr. In Between, it's, you know, not for the faint-hearted. It's got a bit of a dark subject matter sometimes, but it's really good, really natural. And it feels like you're just watching someone from afar. It's not overacted. It's brilliant. Please watch it. Very, very good. But anyway, that's my social help for this evening and my public service announcement. Thank you. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good evening and see you soon. Bye-bye.